Are you considering becoming a mom or a dad? Are you over 35 or even over 30 and starting to feel the pressure, the societal pressure, the family pressure, the emotional pressure to have a child or to make a decision to have a child now before it's too late? My name is Karen. I'm a clinical psychologist, and in this video, I am going to share with you 9 essential questions that you must ask yourself before you even start to try and get pregnant. Please get out a pen and a piece of paper and write these questions down and take some time to reflect in peace and quiet on your answers to the following. Question number 1. What do you want your life to look like? I want you to imagine being at the end of your life and looking back. What will have made your life a meaningful, satisfying, fulfilling life? The feeling that you've lived your life well. What might you regret? What might you wish that you had done or not done? Then I want you to bring your attention a bit closer to the present and ask yourself, what do I want my life to look like in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? And take your time to actually visualize the answer to all of these questions. Question number 2 is, what do you want? And to answer that, I want you to write down the first thing that comes up for you when you consider each of the following 3 parts of this question. What does your head say? What does your heart say? And what does your gut say? Reflect and write them down. Question number 3. If the answer to the question so far has been a yes, then I want you to ask yourself, what is the meaning of having a child to you? What about this decision means the most to you? What values of yours would be coming into play? The thing is, there are lots of reasons that people have for wanting to have a child. From passing on their genetics, to the experience of being pregnant, to having somebody to love. Whatever it might be, there's no right or wrong answer, but it is really worth considering. What is your answer? What is your meaning? If, after having answered the first 2 questions, your feeling is no, then what does not having a child mean to you? What values of yours are coming into play? What's your personal meaning? What means the most to you about not having a child? Keeping in mind, no right or wrong answers, no judgments. Question number 4. Is having a child or not having a child the only way or the best way to satisfy this meaning, or to be true to yourself in this way, or live true to your values in this way? Are there different ways that you could satisfy the values and the needs and the desires that you expressed in answering the first lot of questions? Question number 5. What are your realistic resources? And that is in terms of your practical resources, your financial resources, your emotional resources, and the support that you have, and your resources in terms of the time that you have. It is important to have a look at each of these aspects and see realistically what it is that you have available to you, because it might be a lot more or a lot less than you had thought. If it's a lot less than you had thought for the decision that you wanted to make, then what are the ways that you could increase your resources or build your resources? Question number 6. What if something went wrong? If you knew that something terrible was going to happen as a result of your decision to have a child or to not have a child, what would you do? And I know this seems like a really negative train of thought, but it's really useful to actually allow your brain's natural tendency to go towards the negative and ask yourself, okay, so what if this bad thing happens or this sad consequence results from my decision? What will I do? What options would be open to me in that situation? You know, if something does happen, you will have at least considered the possibility and have some idea where you might want to go in that kind of situation. For example, if you decide to have a child and you cannot fall pregnant, would you consider assisted pregnancy? Would you consider IVF, for example? Keep in mind that either decision comes with risks. If you decide to have a child, all kinds of things can go wrong. If you decide not to have a child, there's always the possibility that you may regret it in the future. That's a risk that you take. If these consequences should arrive, what would you do? How would you handle it? What resources and options would be open to you if the things that you fear or the what ifs actually came about? No matter what we do in life, there are always risks, and there are always difficult and painful and hard parts. In the words of Mark Manson, we need to choose our suffering. Which kind of hard part would you rather have than another form of suffering or difficulty in life? We cannot see the future, we cannot predict what might happen, but we can be pretty sure that life is going to throw some pretty unpleasant curveballs at us because that is the way it is. Question number 7. What does a full, meaningful, and satisfying life look to you right now? Because while planning for the future and spending time dreaming about the future, it's all too easy to kind of get caught up into either anxieties and fears about the future or dreams and hopes for the future and lose sight of the present. Question number 8. Having answered all the questions from 1 to 7 and having weighed up your answers, because some of them may be quite surprising, some of them may be contradictory, that's okay. It's up to you to weigh them up for you. But the question here is to ask yourself, what is the growth decision and what is the fear decision for you? There is no right or wrong answer here. There is only your answer. And either way could look like the growth decision or the fear decision, depending on you as an individual. Keeping in mind that we always want to be coming from a place of growth, because coming from a place of fear is inherently limiting and will prevent you from finding joy and fulfillment in your life. Question number 9. My last question. If you have a partner, what is your partner's answer to all of these questions? My suggestion is that you do this exercise on your own and then allow your partner to do the exercise on their own, and then come together and talk about each of your answers. If they are very different, then that means that you've got a lot to discuss and plan and work out and compromise upon. It might even be a sign that you should enter couples therapy to help you to make the right decision for yourselves as individuals, but also yourselves as a couple. Deciding to become a parent is a very big decision and a very important decision. And I hope these questions will be helpful to you in exploring what it is that you want and you need and you desire for your life. If you found this video helpful in any way, then please click the like or subscribe buttons and turn on that notification bell. And if you have a question about anything that I've said, or in fact, if you have a question on anything related to this topic, then please let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you back here.